Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to my ongoing series of the 2022 Best Picture nominee reviews. And today, this is one I am very, very much excited to talk about. And of course, that is Drive My Car, directed by Ryusuke Hamaguchi and written by Takamasa Oa as well as Hamaguchi. Nominated for 4 Academy Awards including Best Picture, Best Director, Best International Feature Film, and Best Adapted Screenplay, Drive My Car follows a Japanese theater director directing a multilingual production of Uncle Vanya and him grappling with the aftermath of a personal tragedy. Now, this is a very, very interesting movie. This is actually the first Japanese film to be nominated for Best Picture, which is a big deal, and one that I'm just so happy about. If you saw my reactions to the 2022 Oscar nominees, you could tell how excited I was about this movie. And it's one that kind of flew under the radar, but not really, because obviously it wouldn't have gotten nominated for Best Picture if it did fly under. And you don't really see a lot of international features get nominated. Yes, obviously Roma a few years ago, and then Parasite, which was the first film not in English to win Best Picture, but it doesn't really happen too often. And I think this was a film, once I saw it, I watched this and I said, this absolutely deserves it. And then I saw the momentum building for it, and I'm like, this is great, it's going to get in. And it was still a delightful surprise to see it get in, because you're never 100% sure. But given there were 10 Best Picture nominee slots, the abundant love for this film was just all across the board in the Academy, and it's not hard to see why after seeing this. Because this is the thing. Alright, the first 40 minutes is kind of slow, a little boring, because essentially it's the prologue, you know, and the thing is about it, you don't even get the title credits or the title cards for 40 minutes, or about 40 minutes into the movie. So basically they're just setting up the main crux of this event that happens in this character's life. And then you kind of get into him going to Hiroshima and directing Uncle Vanya. And I think slowly but surely, once you get to Hiroshima and him directing this production, and when he starts interacting with this kind of driver of his, that's where you get the title Drive My Car, because it's so funny how they describe, because basically the artist in that area can't drive themselves because one artist did it and then they got killed. Or they killed someone, and so basically they're like, no, we can't have you artists driving your cars. So they get someone to kind of drive his car for him, and basically once that happens, once that character is introduced, you see the interactions between these two characters kind of flourish, and I think slowly but surely you see the continual build of all these really poignant moments and just all these different characters interspliced throughout the narrative, kind of giving gravitas to the situation that's happening to these two central figures. And that is what makes Drive My Car so great, because once you are locked in, you are locked in. Because the thing with this movie, it's almost 3 hours long, but it is such a cathartic, complex, emotionally moving film that just, it's one of those slow burns that really just you settle into. And by the end, I was just absolutely flabbergasted at how good it was. And also, the other impressive thing, and I kind of alluded to earlier, is the character interactions. And there's so many, well, maybe not too many, but the moments that are there, the big monologues that take place between these characters, the interactions are so nuanced, so emotionally complex, and really just enthralling. As I said, I mean, there's certain scenes in this movie where subtext is used so beautifully, and you basically get everything you need to know about these characters' past, what they're dealing with, their outlook on a certain situation that you know about, but perhaps the characters are kind of in the dark about each other. And then you hear them talk about it, and it is just so subtle, but it's so effective, and it's so beautiful. And I think Hamaguchi's direction in this movie, it isn't one of those films like Steven Spielberg's West Side Story or Kenneth Branagh's Belfast, where it kind of is like flashy filmmaking to kind of, you know, pop out at you. But that's why it works so well, is he has this consistent tone, this consistent pace, this consistent look that just permeates this entire movie. And I think without him kind of anchoring down in this script, in these characters, and really the tone, I mean, it wouldn't have worked as well. And of course, that's a director's job. But I think here it is especially effective. And also, I have to give credit to the cast here, first and foremost, especially Hidetoshi Nishijima, who plays Yusuke Kafuka, who's the main character of the story, as well as Toko Moriya, who plays his driver. Their interactions are the most compelling and the most sincere, because they are the heart and soul of this film. And just seeing them learn about each other, and them kind of unveiling these layers of tragedy in their lives, it's just, you can't help but feel for them and be drawn to them. And also, another really great member of the cast, Masaki Okada, who is very linked in his character in the movie, very linked to Yusuke's past. And just his interactions with him are the most intriguing parts about the film. Their dynamic is so tense. And I think that's where a lot of the tension comes from in the movie. But just, yet again, they have one scene that is just beyond beautiful and just absolutely jaw-dropping. My jaw was just on the floor watching that one scene between them. And you'll know which one it is. Once you see it, you'll never forget it. And also, the thing that's so brilliant about Drive My Car, not only is the drama just so tight and built so well, but there's certain moments in the film that are just very subtly set up. And you don't really think too much of it, but you know it's like, okay, that is going to go somewhere later in the story. And then when it happens happens at just the perfect moment to kind of pull the rug out from underneath you and just kind of leave you like, it is so well executed. It is unbelievable how well this script plays off. And I think, honestly, if this won Best Adapted Screenplay, it would be well worth it. I'm kind of rooting for it, that or Coda, but honestly, this screenplay is certainly one of the highlights of the year when it comes to writing. And I just think this film, if you just open, because obviously, you know, not everybody's going to be interested in watching a 3-hour Japanese slow burn drama, but if you really open up your mind to this, you will just be so emotionally gratified. And I think that's the thing about it, why it has gotten nominated for all these awards. Because you don't just get into Best Picture being an international feature, you don't. And so I'm so glad it did. Easily one of the most delightful surprises, waking up Oscar nomination morning and seeing it in the bunch. Because it absolutely is one of the year's best films, and certainly a film that I think will stand the test of time. And I'm so glad that Japan is finally getting the dues that it deserves, especially, you know, looking back all the way into the classic film review of the 50s with, you know, directors like Yasuhiro Ozu and Akira Kurosawa. Finally, we're recognizing such an integral country when it comes to filmmaking. And I'm just so glad that Drive My Car was the first one to make it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Drive My Car a 9 out of 10. An absolute essential watch for any film fan and anybody interested in seeing this year's Best Picture nominees, because it is certainly one of the best of the bunch. So what did you guys think of Drive My Car if you've seen it? Let me know in the comments below. If not, tell me if you're going to see it, if this review excites you to see it. I hope it does. You know, that's kind of my whole goal here. And if you like what you're seeing, just smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Got a lot of great stuff coming down the pipeline. Obviously, the rest of these Best Picture reviews. And also, coming up next week, my top 10 albums of the 2000s, one of my favorite decades for music, so stay tuned for that. And of course, I'm going to be making some more announcements and clarification about some big ideas we have coming up very soon. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.